ese gato se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción, después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile, baby. Ese booty retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Te va a encantar como meto yo.
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and as you can see, this is not Primetime Studios truly. All the other stuff came with me, and of course, if you've been following any kind of stuff that I've been doing with Mark Holmes, and of course with Game Time Brian, my partner in crime, just been going hard with the draft. Yeah, I'm on a Wi-Fi from the hotel, so please let me know if you can't get anything. I was trying to get everything going. As you see, I got my personal microphone here. Yeah, Isaac Ramirez, what's going on? Clemente, Raymond, Salas, what's going on, everybody? I'm hoping everything's working really well. I'm hoping it's not getting too choppy or anything. This is definitely a different angle. I'm looking at totally different things. But I think the same thing is just, you know, no matter where you go, you're a Cowboys fan, you're dealing with it. I'm, of course, here in Detroit, Michigan, and it's wrapping up, man. The draft is kind of wrapping up. It's getting into that 7th round where we got a couple of more picks, of course. And man, I've been happy with this draft. I think if you've been watching this channel, if you're watching any of those, you know, Mark Holmes, any of those guys that we've been jumping on as well with Space Cowboy, we've been ecstatic about this draft just because there's a lot of people that you can pick from no matter what you're going. It's almost like throwing, you know, a dartboard at a dartboard, just blindfolded. It's just no matter what you hit, you're going to get some kind of gold. And so I think every team should be very proud about what they walk away with. Now, of course, we all know that everybody makes it, but I think this class, you can kind of see there's going to be a lot more stars coming from it, even ones in the deeper parts of the draft. So I mean, I think it's a very interesting class, and I think, you know, of course, 2 or 3 years from now, I mean, next year they're going to be calling some of these guys bust. But you know, as a Cowboys fan, I think you should be very happy with who you got. Of course, we'll recap a little bit about that as well. As I'm watching on my side as well. Here, I'm seeing Mark Holmes, of course, Game Time Brian and David Wiley. They're doing their thing, man. They're already hitting the road. I'm going to be relaxing here. I don't fly out until tomorrow. So really, honestly, it's just kind of relax and enjoy the area, really. So I appreciate you guys coming through. But let me go ahead and start wrapping it up in the sense of not wrapping up, but why we came here for. We're talking a test. See, I wanted to make sure that it all worked. And so we'll go here. We're looking at Isaac Ramirez. Look, my stuff is still working. I got it here. And I'm trying to make this final push and just enjoy this time, man. I've been at least feeling that after the first pick, you know, we move back, we pick a guy like Tyler Guyton. I think, of course, not my first choice, not my second choice, not my 7th choice, but when it comes to what we had them draft graded wise, it was a 2nd round draft pick. Of course, Dallas being 15, 17 that they had on their board, being 1st round draft picks, and picking 24th, all those guys were, of course, dropped off the board. And to me, I think the biggest story of that is with that 24th pick, you turned around and made 2 offensive lineman picks, and one of them, of course, being Tyler Guyton. And you know, big boy, just a raw guy, just a lot of, you know, versatility. He's able to, you know, I think when you're swinging out with some of these running backs that, of course, unfortunately have no names, Zeke Elliott, of course, being talked about. But I think Zeke Elliott's talk, that whole thing is just, you know, when you saw Zeke here, you know, of course, short line gold situation, and of course, chipping and hitting into the ribs of the defensive end. And I think that will help Guyton a lot. So if he's out of position, he tends to, because of his athleticism, tends to get into position very well. I think it's his hands. He tends to be grabby, you know, whether he's bigger than the dudes and he's just kind of putting his hands like that. He needs to figure out where to put his hands. I need to figure out where to put those words. But looks like the guys are driving through the country roads right now. Exactly in the back area, you can see how, like, as I'm watching it. Let me show you here. That's what I see. I'm watching them on their broadcast here. Of course, I see the draft over there on the TV farther away, and I am having my makeshift uh, cord thing here. So there I am. So when it comes to Guyton, when you watch his film, you see that he's inside. He definitely gets his body on the block. I think if a guy has good technique to get around, I think those are the ones that will have problems with. But again, going against Micah Parsons, going against Tank Lawrence, going against now, you got your Sam Williams going to be stepping up more. And of course, the second round draft pick going from Nealon. And I think that one's the one that surprises a lot of people. It surprises me. When I was just doing little mock drafts here and there, I would actually draft Nealon because I really liked his film. Again, it reminded me a lot of Parsons, and not like any of the other ways, but in the sense that he just doesn't have a lot of moves. He won with raw power, just getting to that place, getting around, just the way that he did it. It wasn't hand moving. He wasn't dropping his hands. He wasn't swimming. He wasn't pushing up. So there wasn't a lot of hand stuff, and so you saw that. And with the power that he has, if D-Law, a guy like D-Law, which sets the edge very well, I think that could be that learning curve where he can help set the edge of a defensive end. I think when you watch anything that he was doing, his power rushing is kind of what got him out of position. And I think that's what you see with the Cowboys a lot of. And Dan Quinn's defense, you're hoping that Zimmer, of course, calms him down a little bit as I'm going. It's just slowly going upwards. So I apologize there. It is just all right. Let's see how that goes. See how long that lasts. But when you look at him, you like the traits you see there. I mean, I guess Dallas definitely saw those. I was wanting to go different in those positions. I really like some of the running backs, the linebackers as well. But again, if this guy starts making some plays and we start forgetting about some of these guys, and I think it makes it just easier for them to walk away from a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence next year. It's the negotiations, unfortunately, with D-Law and Stephen Jones has not been the greatest, so you can't assume that that's going to automatically, iron itself out, especially when you know how Catboy is at insulting them by giving them the offer. And so to me, you kind of have to prepare for that. And I think that's the difference. Maybe that's the Jimmy Johnson thing that, hey, instead of reacting, let's go ahead and anticipate that there's not going to be somebody there. Let's get some depth, not being just settling on Brock Hoffman. Going into our third pick, of course, my guy, Cooper Beebe. If you've seen his channel, I am all about this guy. Why does a guy like him not get drafted in the first round? I think that a lot of people try to say, well, his movements, and I tend to think that he's great at assisting and getting to that next level, just something that we never had with Tyler Biadasz here. And I'm not saying this guy's going to come in and play center. It might be 1 year. I mean, Brock Hoffman, if Brock Hoffman can beat him out and stuff like that, I look forward to that. I love Hoffman and his attitude and stuff like that. So I want position battles in this training camp. Cowboys suck this season, going to be asked. Thank you very much, Mark Holmes. I appreciate it, sir. You guys look amazing. As I show, I can see you guys here in the corner of my broadcast. I don't know if you guys were noticing by then. So here you are. I can see you guys. And then my makeshift little thing here. But when I talk about Cooper Beebe, anytime I was doing my mock drafts, I instantly grabbed him. I'm like, I want him. I don't want any excuses. And of course, no, I'm watching you watch me watch you. But I get excited because I where does he fit in this offense? I think people are giving them a low grade because why? You don't have a position for him now. Well, center definitely seems to be a great position, and hopefully that, just across the whole offensive line, you have some kind of competition. I think the only thing that you're not going to have that on is the tackle position, but, you're not going to win everything. You have too many needs, and going into this draft, we knew some stuff wasn't going to get filled in. It seems like defensive tackle is one of those positions. It's going to be fearful going into the season if you don't make some kind of trade, some kind of move. So by the time you got out of that Cooper Beebe situation, now you're running out of running backs as well, where okay, your first one goes off the board, your second one that you weren't questioning, but now as they slowly drop you and you don't get in that later in that third round, if you don't pick them up, of course you're not going to see anything until the fifth. So We were really kind of hoping that they would make some kind of decision there, but that just wasn't the case. Hold on one second, I'm getting a text. Yeah, I'm listening to you guys as well. Oh yeah, I gotta give him a little bit of thing here, a little bit of love. Here. Come on. And so the Wi-Fi is trying to do its thing right now. What's going on, guys? I apologize for right now. I am trying to. He missed the interstate. Hey, you know what, Mark? I'm gonna kind of blame that on you because I already told you need if you're gonna be sitting in the passenger seat, you need to be assisting on the navigation. So I'm listening to you guys. You guys are bickering right now. So sorry, man. Right now, I'm listening to him. Sorry, guys. I'm not. They're bickering right now on the road, so it's kind of nice. But I take more game time side, just because you know if you've been hanging out with Mark, you'll know that his sense of directions is crazy. You know, you're like he's going one way and it's supposed to go this way. So it's just like if you're ever in trouble and Mark Holmes is running away from the trouble, run the opposite way of Mark Holmes. So, but anyway, let me get to some of this. I have not been seeing that. Mark is crying about the draft. Is he? Crying about how great of a pick, and he doesn't know which jersey he's going to buy first. I'm pretty sure, right? Clemente, we had a lot of players that played last year that weren't even drafted. Bass, Bell, Turpin, Audrey. Can't wait to see after the draft who's we acquire. I agree, man. There's some guys. There's a linebacker that I love, Dallas Gant. I think I brought him up a couple of times. I have not been able to pick up on the draft here, so I've been trying to get everything on the studio, get everything situated, calling back home, talking to people and stuff like that. So it's been really, really hard. Mark smelled the room, yeah. No, not at all, man. It was actually very pleasant in that room. We were separated. It was nice and big and spacious, so everybody kind of had their own space to kind of work with. But you got to, again, Brian really sums it up when it says you have to have your head on a swivel when it comes to Mark Holmes because bam, all of a sudden it's recording and the studio lights are on and it's just a camera in your face like, what do you think about the third pick? And but it keeps your head on your toes, man. I like it because you know, I know when I first started this back and forth with a camera in the room and nobody's there, it was kind of hard for me. But now it's definitely come more natural. You can kind of say I'm getting a little bit insane when it comes to it. So personal diaries, I think this might be the way I go about it. No, Chad, that is not. That is not. A lot of ladies are after you. They were talking how cute you were, Mark. After, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think of myself that way. I am. I definitely was ignored as a little bit when I was younger. Had a lot of stuff, so that's where the comedy a little bit more comes. So I'm a little bit. I come out of my shell more as it comes around, but I appreciate the gesture. Be nice in here, yeah. What's going on? Oh, nice. I love the support. Thank you very much. Clemente was Mark Holmes was sipping on some rum and coke, so navigation skills may be sus. Yeah, he's just looking down. He's just thinking about he's probably putting up his broadcast right there on the dashboard so he can have his whole laptop set up. Jojo, how's it going? Lord Nova. Now I am actually I'm pulling a blank right now. Who do we draft at the end of the third round? Oh man, it was a corner, right? Carson? I think it was Carson, right? It was. I have to look up film on that one. That one's the one that I question it just in the sense that I just remember seeing his name pop up a lot. I wasn't able to play. I wasn't able to watch a whole lot of it. I don't remember Wake Forest being exactly great on the defensive side of the ball, so I question it a little bit. But again, I'm going to go back. Again, I'm not angry about any kind of corner or wide receiver. Wide receiver, we just got off the board there. A guy that's hasn't had a whole lot of production, but his athleticism is there. So I guess they like his traits, just there's no stats to follow anything. So of course, everybody knows you get to this point of the draft, you're just getting it for possibilities. Well, he's a possibility that he could be a gunner on one of the special teams. You've been seeing what Bones Fossil has done with some of these guys. I mean, we had Noah Igbenogany out of nowhere. He makes the first touchdown. We trade our rapper and soon to be that corner there. And then we go and get Noah Igbenogany, and then he goes and makes a touchdown the first week because, of course, my man Wanye Thomas. So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. Okay, Chad says, the Cowboys had a great draft. I'm excited about the guard we got. He's a bulldozer. He is. I mean, even when you hear him talk, you get excited about it, man. You want to already watch him hit somebody, and unfortunately, the guys that he's going to be hitting right now, what do we have on the defensive line? I mean, I'm not exactly impressed. Osa Digizu, I think, is the one that I'm always in awe of. I love his ability, but again, he's not that one tech that we need. Mark has definitely chimed about that, but he's right. I mean, we need a big boy that's not going to move, and we need to be able to. That's what Hankins was, and we were hoping that a guy named Carl Davis would come in here and at least not do nothing in the sense of moving, but he can't even do that right. So, I question what we have there unless Zimmer figures out, but that's why those linebackers, you're hoping that, hey, we can get these gaps and these linebackers can hit it, because guess what? Overshown is great for hitting the gap and getting into that backfield. Hendricks, that's another guy. And then you don't think that, you got, of course, a linebacker that you draft. That was the guy. Also, the linebacker that you draft that, man, as I watched the film on him, he's just impressive. I mean, just a young guy. He's going to get bigger. He's going to put on some weight. He's going to get bigger. He's going to be flying around. He's very durable. Comes from a big line of linebackers that go to Notre Dame, coming from Hawaii. Of course, a cousin from Puka Nacua. There's a lot there. I mean, there is a lot there within this draft. A lot to get excited about, these young guys. But again, I think if you're any team, you're going to get excited about your guys. So let's be real. Jeff Lee, what's going on? Special teams, I saw him hit a guy on the sideline and recover the football, so he may be a gunner. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, because let's be real. I mean, CJ Goodwin is not going to be on this team forever. That's why they got a guy. Man, I am slipping on his name, and I think that's a good thing. But the Kentucky cornerback that we got the second round, that was a rapper. I can't even think of his name now. It's right there. I can't even think of it. We still have 2 upcoming picks. I like that. Do you get a running back now? I don't think so. I don't think there's a running back there that you go, okay, I can't get him after the draft or something like that. I think you're more you got to fill in some kind of defensive tackle stuff. Hold on, I got to hear what you just said. What you say? Boss man fat. Okay, thank you. That's what it was. See, that's what I do. The exact same thing I do on my broadcast. He's talking, and I say it out loud, even though he may not hear me. I'm hoping that kinetically we can connect it, and he'll get it right. So, but anyways, as we're going into this draft, of course, the wide receiver, I got to look into that wide receiver. But when we were talking about him, his production has not been there at all. But I guess they like his traits because he does have some versatility. He's got some athleticism. But again, I got to go back and see it. But from what I've been able to tell, there wasn't a lot of production there. So you're really just kind of getting a project guy, camp body maybe. Not even a camp body. I don't want to say that because it's not a guy that you're just going to cut.Maybe he's a practice squad guy or anything like that. But hey, could be Trey Lance's new buddy. So let's see how this all turns out. I am looking. Let me see who has been coming off the board because I don't even know where we are in the draft. Let's see. Go to Google here. It's a lot different when I don't have my stuff in front of me, NFL draft picks. There we go. All right, I'm trying to get it. And of course, you're going to have every other link I can hit except for that one. So I can't wait till God, I can't wait till Dak is gone. I'm excited about watching Trey Lance get a chance. So, as a Cowboys fans, America's team, we're very divided on a lot of controversial thoughts, and I think that's what sums up America's team. Isn't America really divided on a lot of, uh, controversial subjects and stuff like that when it comes to something big? And I think that's no exception when it comes to the Cowboys itself. I mean, we all have a difference between what the running game is and what we think it should be. What this offensive line, did we really just waste 2 draft picks on offensive linemen when we could have got weapons for Dak? And we're not giving anything to Dak. Well, guess what? We give him some protection and stuff. So everybody thinks differently, especially when it comes to this team. And I really don't think that is So I mean, everybody had, there's some points that they want Dak on, other ones they want them to extend it, other ones want to try Trey Lance, and I'm interested as well, man. I really want to see some body of work in the preseason. Kelvin Joseph was his actual name. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Bossman Fat. Yeah, I'm reading some of these things. I don't want to just. Okay, Jacob Walker says, "I am not a Cowboys fan. Do you think they're picking to taunt the next year?" It's hard to say that they're not. I mean, they are obviously, some of these picks are for the next following season, and I hate to say it, but you got some talent. Don't get me wrong. You got best player available at certain positions, but they're not positions you necessarily need. They are, though, when you kind of narrow them and compare them, they're comparable to guys that are leaving as well too. I mean, you had Armstrong leave, and you had Fowler, sorry, leave. So you ended up getting a defensive edge guy. Of course, a guy that's still a project in some ways, because you need to teach him hand stuff. Wow, hand stuff. Pause. But when you got a running back that's left, you didn't really address that too much, but you did get some offseason stuff. Questionable. But you do have at least some running backs by committee that, hey, I think they've all been productive where they've come from. So at least you have that. You're not just putting guys back there that are like, well, I got this guy who was bagging my groceries 2 weeks ago, and I said, hey, you want a job? So these guys are guys that have proven things as well. The offensive line, I think, if you make an offensive line great, I mean, and they don't get touched for 5 yards down the field, their average is going to go up. They're going to become Pro Bowlers, is whether they want to or not. And then you get your high value. The other team pays more, and you don't have to pay your running backs. So I think we paid too many running backs too much money for too many years. It's about 10 plus years, it seems. We've been wasting too much money on that. Let's see. We're 2 picks away. Oh, man. You guys got to let me know, because, again, so guys get the Colts on there. We have an all-pro quarterback. I think either way, right? Our pick is in. Yeah, where are you live from? I'm still in Detroit. I am still here. I'm in the hotel room, just kind of, just gonna relax after I get on the broadcast. I go downstairs, go to the bar there, just kind of relax, and just watch, just kind of get more into the draft stuff. Watch some film on people. We got another offensive tackle. Which offensive tackle did we get? Man, why is this not? I had everything correct. I had the tracker. There you go, draft tracker. And it's not. See, I click it, but it doesn't. Another 6'5" dude. 6 foot. Yeah. Oh my God. You think this would be easy just to see? NFL draft tracker. Like, I got to give it exactly what I want. Like, there we go. That sounded very dirty, so I apologize, people. Okay. All right, so I see it there. There we go. Nathan Thomas, Louise. So in Louisiana, Lafayette. Nathan Thomas, 6'5", 332 pounds. Wow. Definitely long arms. Not a great grade, but pretty okay grade. Not better than average. So his production score, 58, not very good. So that means he's probably been more in the rotational guy. Athleticism score gets a 73. So again, they're going for athleticism on their offensive line. Other than that, their 40-yard dash was about 4.19. His 10-yard split, which is big for offensive lineman, is 1.76. So great reaction. His vertical was 25. Broad jump was 8 feet 11 inches. That's freaking big for a big man. His 3-cone drill was 8 seconds. So yeah, man, he's a guy that can move. So his bio says he was redshirted, played in 1 game as a reserve. In 2020, he did not play. 2021, he played in 7 games as a reserve. And 2022, he started all 13 games at left tackle. And then in 2023, he had honorable mentions of all Sun Belt Conference. He started 12 games at left tackle, missed New Orleans Bowl, lost to Jacksonville State due to knee surgery. So knee surgery is most likely why this guy dropped. And their overview on him is an intriguing offensive line prospect with outstanding lean, mass, and above average upper body power. Thomas is a solid run blocker who lacks desired pad level. So he doesn't get low enough, but utilizes his hands and feet to help push defenders where he wants them to go. His footwork as a run blocker is much better than it is as a protection, but a move inside to guard could help kind of basically eliminate some of those issues. He's capable of taking on blocking duties and has room for continued improvement. So lateral blocking is as they move down the line, he's able to pick up those blocks. At this point, he's a backup level player, but his size and run blocking talent give him the real shot to move up the depth chart. So the potential, I guess, is there. His strengths, they say, adequate initial quickness to reach and seal blocks, works for proper positioning before engaging, stays on top of his run blocks with connected hands, responsive to slants, with the ability to redirect and wash them down. Doesn't allow much push when challenged by bull rushers. Weakness. Lacks desired slide quickness and mirror to stay at tackle. Okay, so he has a problem kind of like as he goes to kick out, the guy comes back in, he has a problem reshifting out. His momentum's got him going one way, and he cannot stop on a dime and go the other way. So basically he has so if you put him in that, like, Vox Lombardi likes to say, bear in a phone booth, you get him limited and he can't go around and do those big cuts and stuff like that. But again, that does mean that he may get beat by quick in and out moves and stuff like that. So you got to watch that. Pass punch can become a forcible shove, sending weight too far forward. So it looks like he can overlean by getting into too much of a power thing. So defenders could probably pull him down and kind of go over him. Could struggle to stay in front of rush counters and exactly what I'm saying, the moves and stuff like that. But his run blocking is amazing. His passing is what's questionable. You know what? You're right, Clemente. Matt Walesko might be out. Is Josh Ball even in that same category? Because I would say Walesko more in and then Josh Ball more out. But yeah, you might be right. One of those guys might be gone. His narrow base and high pad level has a down blocker. Okay, again, so they're talking about his pad level is not right. So again, being in the NFL, being with a great offensive line that he has in front of him, I mean, he's going to get some coaching. So hopefully that'll change. But again, when you're in trouble, what do you go back to? Your instincts, right? The things that you do. So if he trains well, that means those instincts can be habits. Those habits that he kind of pushes into his body. But again, he's going to have to show that commitment. Linear run blocking allows some leakage out the side door. And so that's what they're talking about. It's like if he goes in and out, and they can kind of slide in there. So, but if he can get your hands on you, it sounds like he's going to put you right back in front of him, and he's able to kind of recover a little bit and get into it. So, again, exactly what you think for the Cowboys. I mean, it's a pick where it's a pick that, hey, this is a potential this, and it could end up being a great pick, but it could end up being a nothing. It could be a Matt Walesko or a Josh Ball type of pick, right? I can honestly say though, as I read those profiles with those guys, they were not talking like that with those guys. So at least there's an upside to that. Trying to see. We are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks away. So what do you guys think about this draft right now? I mean, are you guys getting excited about some of these guys? Is there a jersey maybe that you guys are going to buy? I said that if we could get a Jackson Power Johnson, I would buy his jersey, but it doesn't look like. But I may go for the Cooper Beebe one. That that might be it. Last pick. What do you think? Defensive tackle or running back? If I had to choose position, I would say defensive tackle. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, if you get a call as a guy that doesn't get drafted, and the Dallas Cowboys are asking you to come to their camp as a defensive tackle, your odds are you're probably going to do it. And I think you're going to put this in the same category as Romo. When Romo was doing his decision on where am I going to go and everything, they asked, he talked later on when he was talking to Sean Payton and everything, why he didn't go to Denver or no, was it New Orleans? I think in New Orleans. Sorry, I apologize for that. Why didn't he go there? It was because, I knew I had a better chance of actually making the roster over here. If you're a lot of those other ones, there's a lot of defensive tackles already kind of in the league. Dallas doesn't have those. Isn't known for those. They need help with those. So you, as a defensive person, would assume that you're going to have a great shot of making the team and actually being a starter. So to me, Dallas is a very big possibility for defensive tackles to come to because your possibilities are bigger to be a star in Dallas. Let's just be real. Even if anything, putting your tape out there, it's for other teams as well. So, so I look forward to, as well with some of these other ones, seeing what we get. Seeing what we get. Man, they're picking away. Looks like the Texans are still in the pick. And I've said this on their channel, but I'm going to say this on this channel, kind of just documenting itself. The reason why it takes so long, when you see Texans pick is in and it's sitting there for a while, it's because the NFL is doing their hoopla there. They're entertaining. They're dancing around on the stage. They're trying to get people hyped up that just want to hear the damn picks. It's like, feed us some beer, feed us some food, and give us some picks, man. We don't want to be your cheerleaders. So, and that's kind of what the NFL is doing right now. Is they're let's get up and let's talk. It's like, dude, know your demographics. Like, read the room. Like, and so that's what the NFL. That's why you see that big delay, is because it's taking a while for them to play the song, and then somebody to finally walk out on the thing and just blurt it out. There's been times where they've had to walk out and tell them to stop playing because, hey, man, we're already 3 or 4 different picks behind because you guys won't shut up, So here we go. We're seeing some defensive guys come off the board. Again, Texans pick is in. Don't see it, and I just kind of I'm going to be here to kind of close out the draft here. As I see in the guys traveling, you're very blurry, guys. Very blurry. But that's okay. Yeah. What's up, David? In the back. Let me turn you up a little bit. You guys are talking shit. I know you. Yeah, exactly. I'm leaning for it. Let's change this little background. Go back to this one. Oh, there we go. J. Combe, what's going on? J. Combe is the guy right here. You can't see his little thing because I don't know, the program I use does not like certain images. But this is my little brother, and he's the one that actually sings the song that's the opener to this. So J. Combe, man, everybody loves the music. Hey, JJ, what's going on, man? That's my personal intro for you. So every time I see you, I say that just so you understand. I try to give everybody their own personal thing because I appreciate when you guys come in, definitely supporting and even though game time is like he's doing his thing, Mark's doing his thing. I love jumping on those channels, being able to really do stuff with those guys because they have different opinions, man. I definitely love that. I don't want somebody that has the same exact opinion of mine. And I think that's why it works. It definitely works. Kind of one person's weakness is the other one's strength, and it's just a complementary thing there. And it's no egos are involved there, and I really like working with that stuff too. So Yes, J Cole, definitely. Great job. Definitely love the song. He's working some more on some more music as well too. So here we go. Looks like Solomon Bird came off the board to the Texans. I really like that edge rusher, but again, do we need another edge rusher? I don't think so. So a really good pick by them. Josiah is the room. Offensive tackle, Eastern Kentucky for the Saints. Michael Barrett, linebacker from Michigan. I bet anytime any Michigan or Detroit, anything happens like that, that whole crowd there is cheering. You could be the water boy being like, yeah, we're going to go to the, NFL's, um, water boy area. And then, yeah, well, everything. So, looks like Miami's on the clock, then Titans, then Cleveland, and then the Cowboys will be on the clock. Let's see here. And 7. So we're right there about, about to pick. You guys kind of froze up over there. Yeah, they're going along. Oh yeah, so the words don't even make sense. That's great. Looks like Jeremiah pushing running back for Dallas. I mean, he understands the need. I mean, his whole thing is that I'm sorry, but some of those guys don't really think about the fact that hey, Dallas is one of the best guys that will get people to sign with them after the draft. Do you really need to get a running back? By this point, is it a difference maker? I think you could probably get somebody. Did Mayan Williams come off the board? That was my guy. I might have to look him up to see if he did come off the board. Mayan Williams. Come on. Ohio State. There it is. I haven't used the keyboard for a while. All right, so it looks like is Wikipedia. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, got speed check. Yeah, exactly. I don't even see Miami's pick. You guys already got Miami's pick? Come on. All right, let's see. Looks like Mayan Williams is still there. Maybe I'd draft him. I would draft him. But I can't tell if he's. Not like I can click on something that tells me. Maybe he does. Prospects? Okay, here we go. Uh, 2024. All right, so yeah, Mayan Williams is still on the board. So I would probably go with that one if I would go running back right now. Definitely still gonna give you a lot of production and everything, so that. So sorry, as you can, what's funny? It's like I think the guys were making fun of me. I know Brian was. As we came back into the room, like my face was just red, just the wind was just smacking me and stuff. And now people are gonna think I went to some kind of tropical island or something. So you look like you got a tan, just the red. I gotta get some lotion up in there before I start peeling this stuff. I've never had a wind burn. Like what do I put on it? It's like. All right, come on, Miami. Brian, Mark, do you guys have freaking Titans? Oh, okay, there goes Miami's picks. They got Washington, a wide receiver at the USC. So, what was your surprise out of the draft? I think that my obviously, again, it's probably gonna be everybody's. Is it seemed like Penix, right? What number do we pick at? We pick at 244. Right now, we're on 242. We're actually on 243. 3, but the pick is not in for Tennessee yet. But this will be our last pick at 244, unless somehow we trade. But again, not really worth trade up into the 6. You may have to give us the 6 for last year. Again, you do have a lot of comp picks next year, so you could do something like that, maybe 2 picks. But I would kind of keep those, just for collateral later on, maybe just to move up. Hey, I got later picks I can always throw with stuff, and then I can move up on the board. Let's see. So James Williams, safety from Miami, went to Tennessee. Yeah, we are, just like Mark says, we are coming down the stretch. Oh, if I was actually on DallasCowboys.com, I could actually see it on the top. Oh, that's my first rodeo, guys. I apologize. No, my live mic is working. My thing looks like it's about to fall. So. Browns, man, come on. So it says the pick is in. It's more like the NFL. Get your shit together. Come on. One thing I have to say, if I had to say a negative thing about the whole NFL experience, whole thing is they don't have enough food trucks. They just don't have enough food trucks. They are, unfortunately, the NFL feels like they have to get their hands on every single piece of money that goes through there. And so as you go, it's you're hunting, and if you find a drink, it's like the food, the lines are like long, and there's nothing to it. It's just they got 2 of them there, and there's a couple over here, and it's the one section that they're at, it's a little bit more organized. But again, those longs line, if they had more locations, it would make more sense. I mean, they have the room. I'm just not really sure why they choose not to. I don't know if they can't regulate it enough or something, but they got to bring up the food whole thing, because you're kind of starving a little bit, and you don't really want to go and do anything because it's just not worth sitting in the line for 2 hours. We saw Wiley, I think, like I think the 3rd pick was the last we saw him. Oh, hey, I'm gonna go get something there, and it was almost by our pick by the time we saw him next. Yeah, just get it over with. Exactly. Yeah, you're just like, let's get these things so we can start watching some film and everything. Yeah, well, the nice thing about this too is that when Dallas picks this last one, they're going to be quickly on the phone, if they're not already, calling some of these guys saying, "Hey, if you don't somehow get picked, we're going to be coming for you." So there we go again. It's going to slowly come down. So, come on, Cleveland, you can pick, dude. Like, we like the attention. Everybody's wide looking at us. Yeah, it doesn't make really sometimes some of the sense later on, unless they're in the back, like trying to pronounce it. Like, oh, they're practicing there for 2 minutes, trying to pronounce to say it, because these guys are VEPs of footballs, whatever's, and so they need to be able to say it right. Otherwise, it's embarrassing and not look good for the NFL. So, Jawan Briggs is who they finally get, a defensive tackle. Defensive tackle. Another one gone. Like, now I got to just see who's the best available. Mel Kiper says Blake Watson, running back from Memphis. Jake Westover, tight end from Washington. QB is Slovis from BYU. Leonard Taylor from Miami. That could be a great pick, actually. I know Mike Tagg would love that. And they're going to commercial again. Okay, Justin Rogers, defensive tackle from Auburn, is the pick for the Dallas Cowboys. So let's look at defensive for Rogers. Okay, so you ready for the stats for Rogers? Production score, 52. That means he's definitely deep in that rotation. Athleticism of 52. He jumps a 24 and a half. Broad jump, 8 feet 11. You know, the other one had a little bit more, but see, what size is he? He is 6'2" and a half, 330 pounds. Okay, okay. He's definitely a stout dude. Shuttle was 4.8. Bench press was 21 reps. Doesn't have a lot of strength. Okay. Rogers is what you see is what you get. Nose tackle with a gritty build and film full of fist fights where he gives as well as he gets. He's built low to the ground and plays with a terrific anchor to ward off blocks, finishes, and stays on his feet. He has decent length for his size, but not enough to considerably shed blocks. Despite possessing the power to stack single blocks, Rogers is a drain-clogging nose capable of muddying the A gap for teams looking for depth and help slow the run. Phil the Detroit. Oh, get out of here, Ultra Cowboy. Get you. Adequate adequate initial hand strikes to neutralize opponent's length. So it just gives them that hit. Gritty low body with techniques to plant a deep anchor. So he gets down and he doesn't move. If he really doesn't want to. So basically what he was a kid that when they were like, no, you're going to come this way, he was like, throw his body down, and his mom had to drag him and they couldn't really drag him. So he's been doing this since he was a kid. That's what it sounds like. The stands his ground and comes out of the other side against double team. So boom, can anchor, go through him. So that's interesting. Upper body fuels his block destruction against single blocks. More than held his own in early sessions battling against Georgia, and then violent hitter when running backs tends to hit the gaps. All right, so his weakness, man, Ultra, you're gonna make me laugh, man. Not enough length to considerably clean, slack, and shed as two gappers. Okay, so again, he needs the strength. He needs to gain some zip. He needs to eat some peanut butter. He's lacking a lot of strength. Could struggle to stay ahead of the block against stretch zone teams. So, okay, he can kind of get. So basically, as teams that can do running, zone running type of stuff, you can't get to those spots. Constricted lateral slides. So I mean, again, a true nose tackle. He just doesn't. He's not doing the stunts. He's not going to come around and you go stunt around you and stuff. No, it doesn't sound like he's going to do very much of that. Rushes with very short strides. Basically doesn't want to use up a whole lot of energy. So, again, a true nose tackle, a guy that can really make this team. Yeah, I would say so. Unfortunately, I got to look at, again, a lot of these past couple guys, we're going to look at some tape on them to be able to kind of really say, is there going to be a positive? Are they going to be making this team? Now, defensive tackle, let's just be real, man. He's probably going to make this team just because unless they go out and make a trade for somebody, there's definitely lacking in this department. So we'll see. Y'all take it easy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you again. 5, 40. He can run. I mean, he's a big dude and run. I mean, 5, it's very slow, but again, for a defensive tackle, I guess that would be fast, right? He's not known for his athleticism. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it yet. So to me, it does seem to fit something we need. It wasn't the guys that I wanted. I wanted guys a little bit bigger, but it does sound like he's going to do what they need him to do, anchor down and be a hard person to move. I mean, even if they are being able to move you, it sounds like that's what his strength is. So as we watch this film, we'll be able to see if that is truly what his strength is, or was, depending on the level of competition, was it that? I mean, I have to go back to that Georgia film that they're talking about and see how he really did against an offensive line that was, guess what? A lot of them got drafted. So let's see how he did there. Again, guys, I appreciate you sticking with me as I put up this set and even try it. I appreciate you guys putting up with my crap as I was on Mark's and Game Time's channel as well, too. But again, you guys are amazing. So it's very easy to do this kind of stuff for you guys because you guys are a great crowd. But anyways, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything that the guys have done as well, too. But one thing I definitely appreciate you guys forgetting not to do is, of course, ring that bell. All right, you guys take care.
Who are you?
Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil.
What kind of a stupid name is that?
Oh, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And what is your name, sir?
Well, I told you my name, man.
Sir, what's your name?
It's my co-host, Game Time Brian.
Cool name. Superpowers?
I haven't relaxed. I'm ready for a wild show.
What would you say you do here?
I don't know what it is yet, but it could be a lot of things. So we'll see.
This doesn't make any sense.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man.
You thinking what I'm thinking, part?
Yeah, let's f***ing rage!
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't need the PBS special.
What the fuck is this piece of
Can you say what the f*** did I do last night?